Hey, welcome to this week's Table Talk podcast. It is St. Patrick's Day. I noticed you wore your green today as well.
Yeah.
This is the greenest thing I've got, so.
Yep. I did it. I didn't want Marshall pinching me or anything like that.
I didn't either, yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're protected from pinches.
Yes.
Apparently.
Yep.
Did you ever watch the, well, I don't know if this is church podcast appropriate, but the Leprechaun horror movies? Did you ever see those?
No, I don't do that. I can't. I'm too much of a baby.
Yeah, well, I didn't mean to. I saw one when I was like 10 one time, and it's like freaked me out ever since. So Leprechauns and St. Patrick's Day.
Nope.
It's
a big no from you.
It is. It's a big no.
You'll keep it about St. Patrick.
Keep it about St. Patrick.
Driving out the snakes.
Which is a noble task, might I add.
Yes.
Yeah, I wish somebody would do that here.
Yeah. I was creating one of the posts for Facebook, and I was reading through his story for it. Pretty cool, like, tradition. So now, how much of the snake stuff is actually true? Or is it just like, I would assume it's not true, is what I would assume. But God does miracles all the time. Who am I? But the idea is like, hey, he drove out the sin and the all of the non-literal snakes, whatever. That's like the symbolism of the sin, and it's like, that's pretty cool. And I never realized he's not Irish. He's British.
I didn't realize that either.
Yeah, he was taken as a prisoner to Ireland as a slave, got away from slavery, felt a calling to go back to Ireland to do ministry there, and like converted all of Ireland.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. Drive out the snakes.
Yeah, I heard this morning that Skyline Chili was doing green chili.
They do that every year.
I did not know that, so I'm sad I'm not having that.
I'm out of that. I'm out.
Skyline is the best.
I love Skyline. You know I love Skyline.
I know.
I'm out on
You don't want green chili? Remember when they used to have green ketchup? Do you remember that? When it was like purple and green ketchup and just,
I didn't eat that either. I'm just not a green.
It was just a weird time in the world.
Yeah. I talked about some stuff that you would see on TV a lot during the sermon on Sunday, as seen on TV products. And we talked, I talked mostly about the one that tills up the ground and the something weasel, the
garden weasel.
Talked about the garden weasel a little bit before we got into the parable of the sower. Do you have any favorite as seen on TV products or anything like that?
I really love the Flex Seal commercials where they like take out the bottom of the boat, put a screen door in, and then just spray Flex Seal on it and float. There's absolutely zero chance that that's happening. But you know what? The idea and the commercial is so good. Yeah. I trust it.
Yeah, when he takes that piece of tape and he slaps it on that big thing, I'm like, I don't know if that's right, but it's effective.
It's a great commercial.
I have bought Flex Seal, and it is a good product.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Yeah,
so I think it could patch a hole in a boat for temporary.
Yeah,
but I don't think you could put a screen on it.
We'll go test it out.
Yeah. Yep. That's it for this week's Table Talk podcast. Yep. Come and find us in the lake. In the lake.
In the lake.
So when the Flex Seal fails, actually, take that back. We're going to get sued by Flex Seal.
Probably. It's a great product.
It's a great product.
It's fantastic.
Go buy more Flex Seal.
Yeah.
This episode of Table Talk podcast
is sponsored by Flex Seal. We do need a sponsor.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that would be. Not snakes.
Not snakes, that's for sure.
I don't want
not that. Seed and paths either, because
it doesn't even make sense.
But it was the topic of our sermon, and that does make sense.
Yeah, we talked this week about the parable of sower, Mark 4. I had the opportunity to preach about that, and one that was good for me to revisit. And we talk about that all the time. When you preach on something, sometimes it hits you in different ways.
Yeah.
In this way, it hit me in a different way in the sense of like, oh, this is for me right now. I think most of the time when I read it, I think of like the first time hearers of the gospel, the first seed that they receive. And this time it hit me like, no, this is God's constantly sowing seeds in my life. And the condition of the soil of my heart is going to change how I take that seed and how well it does.
Yeah, it was actually good for me to go back through it. I'd not sat with that passage for a while, so to kind of think about, okay, what different points in my life have I been in these different soils, or kind of what is the condition of my heart right now, was really helpful. And I do think you're right. There's something about that passage because Jesus says this is the parable that kind of is the key to understanding the others. There's something about that I think hits us in such a relatable way, because all of us, if we listen to Jesus' words, I think we all can go, yep, I've been there, I've been there, I've been there. And it's a good challenge, and I like where you took it. It's a good challenge for us to evaluate the condition of our heart now. Yeah. So often, I think, like you said, we use that passage just to look at our first encounter with the gospel. It's like, well, yeah, it applies to that. But I think hopefully we're having daily encounters with the gospel, and our hearts have to be tilled every day to receive it and let it plant fresh things within us.
Yeah, and it was good for me to remember, too. It's like, hey, it's okay that I have to keep pulling these weeds. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That was a reminder to me, too, and that was something I kind of was meant to say, but, it's one of those things that as you're going, things come in and out of sermons, but it's like there are times where I feel so like, man, I am the worst, but I think God's proud that I'm still willing to pull weeds, and that, like, I'm not just going, no, they're not there, right? They're fine. They're not, that's not affecting me at all. Yeah. With the analogy that weeds take the nutrients from the healthy plant, from the healthy seed, and it's like, no, I think God's proud when we go, hey, I see that weed. I know it's there. I know it's a problem. And I pull it, man, but it just pops back up. But God's proud when we don't just go, it's popping back up. I guess it's just
let it grow.
Just let it grow. Or I'm the word. I can't. No, he wants us to keep working.
Yeah. Yeah. And God blesses that, I think. Even the best gardeners get weeds in their garden. Yeah. All of us have sin, have struggles, have issues, and we will never completely rid ourselves of them. But I think that is the goal. Am I continually repenting? Am I continually turning around? Am I continually kind of taking an inventory of myself and working out my salvation with fear and trembling? And that's not to say that, like, all this is about becoming a better person. Christianity is not about becoming a better person. It's about becoming a new person. And that new person, becoming that person in Christ, means that we allow him to show us where are the weeds, where are the maybe the unhealthy spots, where are the sinful patterns, and Jesus, help us pull those up. Yeah. If I slip and fall and one springs back up, help me pull it up again. Give me grace every day. But yeah, I think it's just important to know we can be all of these, but that doesn't mean that God is done with us in any of these states.
Yeah. And whatever state you're in, I don't think you're stuck there, and I don't think it's like you're probably going to go through. Actually, some of the ladies in the group this morning, the Women of Worth group this morning, were saying, I've been at all those stages. I've hit all of those stages, and it can be easy to fall into them. And like we talked about Sunday, which is just a hardness starts to happen, or stones pop, get in there and take up space, and you just can't grow quite as much as what you were, or the weeds, get there. And even one thing that I thought about a lot is just how even if you are the path, God can use people who had the soil like a path, like hard, and keeps getting robbed and stuff like that. He sometimes uses them as the greatest, people to continue planting seeds, and turns into this beautiful garden, because they have had to fight and they have found worth in it, despite being, having a hard path like soil. Yeah. And it's like, I think of like C.S. Lewis, someone who was an atheist, who was denying God, yet when that seed finally took root, he became one of the greatest apologists, one of the greatest writers, and most influential Christians
Mm-hmm.
in
The last 100 years.
the past 100
Yeah.
years. Maybe the most influential. And it's like, that's coming from somebody who their soil was packed down hard. They were the path. But God still allowed it to grow. And like I said, that sometimes that soil, it's not used like the other soil. Like it's used in a different way. The grass dies in it, and it's got rich soil. So if you look at a field that had a path on it that has regrown, that path is a lot of times greener and taller. It grows faster because it has accepted the seeds, and it hasn't been worked. It hasn't been tilled.
Yeah.
It hasn't been, the nutrients haven't been used out of that ground.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible to think about how, man, Jesus is so good at parables.
He's pretty good.
He's like, it's incredible because this can go so much deeper than just a child can understand it. But we could study just this one parable for years.
Yeah.
And still be like, oh man, this is so good. I didn't see this. So
Yeah, I mean, when Jesus says, "He who has eyes to hear, or eyes to see and ears to hear, let them hear," I think that's kind of the idea. Is like our eyes continually see this in fresh ways, our ears continually hear this in fresh ways, because there's something about the way Jesus tells stories and tells parables and the way he teaches that constantly gives us something new. And yeah, I mean, it is true. Like if you look at some of the most passionate and most, I would say, excited people about the kingdom are those who were far from it, and they've now found a way into it, found the way into it. Paul, for example, persecuted Christians. You could say his path, it was a path. You could say it was very rocky, whatever you want. He was not in a place to receive the good news, and yet when he did, you saw how that turned into such conviction and passion for Jesus and his kingdom. God does do amazing things, and I think God uses the weak to shame the strong. And sometimes God can use our seasons of being the path, or being in thorny ground, or being in rocky ground. Like God uses that, and I think he uses it in a way that not only blesses us, but blesses other people, because people can then look at us and go, "Oh, you've been through that. You've been through a time where the thorns were choking out your faith. You've been through a time where you felt like you were just getting packed down and beat up on. You've been through a time where you were busy and your mind was distracted and you had other things going on. And yet I see how God has shown up and has walked with you as you've removed those things and have created fertile ground." It's amazing how God uses every season of our life to bring us and other people closer to him.
Yeah. It's one thing I really love about Westtown is like, I feel like that's not a fear to show like, hey, I've had seasons of this. And it's like, I think we're quick to say, I've had seasons of weeds in my life where they just keep popping up. And I've been there, and we're anxious to say, hey, where you're at, we've been too, but God can help you.
Yeah.
And we have the answer. We've been sick too,
Yeah.
and we have the good physician.
Yeah.
We know the solution. I really love that about Westtown, and the safety that there is in that, of saying, man, we're people too.
Yeah.
Even ministers, it's like, it's not well, yeah, Caleb's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like that. You're not going up there and acting perfect or hiding, the hard things in your life. You use those for the kingdom work. And I think that draws people in. And like you said, can soften some ground. Like God can use your story to soften some ground. I talked a little bit about that on Sunday, which is like, it doesn't just affect your plant. How you live, the tilling up your ground and stuff doesn't just affect you and the seed that you're getting. It affects everything around you. You have pollen, and it brings in other wildlife and worms and all these other things. And the soil around you can start getting soft and tilled and stuff, because when you're reflecting Christ, that's going to happen naturally.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the hope, right? I mean, the hope is that we are a place where we want this to be fertile ground for people to grow, no matter what condition they're in. We want people to grow toward wholeness in Jesus. And And so that means that we have to accept and acknowledge, we're all in maybe a rocky or a thorny or whatever season, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere we want to stay.
Yeah.
It's not where we want to be forever, but to acknowledge this is where I'm at right now and know, hey, God loves you just as much in that state as he does as if you were in perfectly fertile ground, you were bearing fruit everywhere.
Yeah.
So let's figure out how to get there.
Yeah.
For some of us, it might mean, you know what? The rocks in my life, my schedule, my finances, my desires, whatever, like I gotta bust those things up and take them out.
Mm-hmm.
For others of us, it may be like, hey, the path I'm on, like the place I'm putting myself, there's just no way for me to grow here. So I may be in relationships, or I may be in places, or just in like practices. I gotta go, look, this is just not helping me grow. There's no depth here.
Yeah.
You could be in thorny places where you're trying your best, but you've got people around you, or you've got fill in the blank that's just like, man, you just can't get away. Like it's suffocating your faith. Well, let's talk about that. Let's walk through it together. Nobody's judging you.
Yeah.
Nobody's criticizing you. Hey, I've got thorns in my life. I've got some rocks I need to bust up.
Yep.
That's okay. But let's do it together. Let's not judge each other for it. Let's go, hey, we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Jesus wants us to get there. Let's get there together.
Yeah, it's one of our core values to be a refuge for people, and I think that goes into it. Is to be a refuge and to not be satisfied with where we're at, but also acknowledge where we're at and move forward.
Yeah.
I think that's really good. We're going to continue this series, correct?
Yep.
On the way, and we're talking about Mark, the book of Mark. What do we have coming up this Sunday?
So we're getting into Mark chapter 8 this Sunday, and we're looking at two particular places. It's verses 27 through 38. First is where Peter makes his confession about who he believes Jesus to be. And then following that, Jesus essentially launches into, hey, what does it cost to be a disciple? What does it cost to follow me? And we'll kind of get into like, what do we need to lay down so that we can pick up our cross? In Jesus's world, that was very literally like, you may have to lay down your life. Our situation currently, not necessarily the same thing, but it is for people around the world.
Yeah.
And in a sense beyond just like our physical life, following Jesus means you lay down who you thought you were going to be, maybe who you wanted to be, who the world tells you should be. There's more ways than one to lay down your life. And so in order for us to follow Jesus the way he calls us to, we all have to lay pieces of our life down. And that's not easy. But it's where freedom and hope and truth is found. And so we're going to talk about that on Sunday. And, if Jesus really is Lord, that has some implications. He's not just Savior, he's Lord too. Yeah. And so that means the way we live and the way we follow and the way we trust and believe is different.
Yeah, that's good. One of the things I think about a lot with that, and I know we could talk about this next week, but is just how crazy that must have sounded in the moment.
Yeah.
Jesus hadn't gone. It's easy for us to go, pick up your cross.
Right.
I get the analogy. I see what he's doing. That would have been a crazy thing to hear.
Do you want me to do what?
Pick up my electric chair and follow you.
Right.
That would be the same idea. So I'm excited. I'm excited to hear your sermon on that.
Yeah.
Excited to talk about it next week on the Table Talk podcast.
It'll be fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. We'll be back next week. Enjoy. NCAA tournament starts this weekend. Happy St. Patrick's Day belated, and we'll see you next week.